Hello, YouTube. This is Patrick from Heavy Therapy, and I'm here in my review corner. And for this video, I want to review all of 20 Buck Spin's 2021 releases. 20 Buck Spin is one of my favorite record labels that I have had the pleasure to discover over the last 2 years or so. And yeah, I listened to every single release that they put out in 2021. Which was quite easy because one, I consume a lot of music, and two, they didn't put out too many releases. In fact, I think they put out 10 total releases. So, a brief bio here. So, 20 Buck Spin, metal community on YouTube, on Twitter, and on Instagram are all very familiar with 20 Buck Spin. It began in 2005 outside Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Let's see, they mostly release death metal and doom metal projects, but you'll find some black metal bands, you'll find some more hardcore influenced death metal bands, and they 20 Buck Spin itself is a reference to a Pentagram song, which is an early 90s doom band. And yeah, over the last few years they've put out great stuff by Ulthar, some blackened death metal, right? They put out Void Ceremony, some really progressive death metal right here, maybe even avant-garde. They put out, this is, yeah, death metal played by hardcore punk kids, Terminal Nation. They put out great old school death metal like Vastum. So, right, a killer label, quality releases, quality over quantity. But if we're honest, we don't always love everything that every label that our favorite labels put out, if we're honest. So let me say this. I think objectively everything here is good. These are all high quality, talented, skillful musicians who really care about the craft of extreme music. That's objectively so. Subjectively, not everything hits my ears the same way, right? And we're all the same way. So I'm not going to say anything is really bad here, especially objectively. I'm talking about what I liked this year in 20 Buck Spin. So I'm going to rank them in order in descending order, and then going starting at 10 and then going to my number one 20 Buck Spin release from 2021. So let's begin. This might be a controversial pick. I'm sure all of these will in their own ways. My least favorite 20 Buck Spin release this year is from the band Wode and their album Burn in Many Mirrors. Wode is a this is kind of explains one reason why I didn't really take too much to this album. Wode is a UK based black and roll band, I would say, which for me is just a tough genre to get correct anyway. I like the Tribulation album this year better than Wode. Entombed, right? Entombed Wolverine Blues is a good black and roll band album. But yeah, uh, so I actually remember first listening to this in headphones. I was laying in bed late at night, and just something seemed off. The music seemed too fast for the vocal performance. It didn't seem to mesh or gel very well to my ears. I still gave it another full listen. I think I listened to it even another time. I know I listened to it another time. So I gave it at least three full listens, maybe even a fourth over the last month or so, really trying to see if I could pick up anything that would change my mind. Because, I'm a music fan. I don't like to dislike heavy music. I'm not looking to, yeah, dislike bands at all. I'm not contrarian here. It just didn't hit me. So my least favorite 20 Buck Spin release is Wode, Burn, and Many Mirrors. Next up, um, again, another popular release on Twitter. Some of my friends like this release. I'm talking about Atræ Bilis with their album Apexapien. This is a band out of Canada. They play they play modern death metal. It just washed over me. Crisp, clean production and a guitar tone that is close to gent without being gent. And gent, and here's where I'll get gent to me is the worst sounding guitar tone out today. So I can see how this band is technically strong, but this album does nothing for me. Number 9, Atræ Bilis with Apexapien. Next up, we have Skeleton with Ordainment of Divinity Demo. This is a black metal or black and roll band out of Austin, Texas. So, Skeleton's self-titled full length from 2020 was a great slab of black metal or black and roll, talking about first wave, Bathory worship, maybe even blackened speed metal would be a way of thinking about how Skeleton sounds if you haven't heard of them. We got catchy heavy metal melodies. But this demo, so it's only 12 minutes. It has very raw production. The intro is fine, but I am picky about the utility of intros. Plus, again, it's taking up a chunk of time here when there's only 12 minutes and change. I like the melodies and the galloping pacing of this release, but the vocals are too muddy, and there's sort of this weird glitchy tom. There's this weird when the toms are being hit. There's just like weird glitchy computer sounding trigger that they went with. I think it's a trigger. I have no idea. Strange choice. Sounds kind of cartoony because of that. I think the ideas presented here are great. I would have just loved to see them fleshed out. This band can write great riffs and has a strong rhythm section. But yeah, this demo didn't do a lot for me. But that said, I am looking forward to hear what Skeleton does next. So coming in at number 7 is Ghastly with Mercurial Passages. This is a melodic death metal band from Finland. And yeah, I can see why people like this. The guitar parts and songs are objectively better than my personal rating, my personal perception. I will say that. I do like the riffs here and there, but the drum performance and the almost unchanging mid-tempo slog bring this down for me. So sometimes the vocalist sounds like Nurgle from Behemoth, which I like, but yeah, I don't really enjoy listening to this album, and I've gave it 3 or 4 spins. I don't enjoy my time when I'm listening to it. Up next, and I know this will be controversial, talking about the new project from Justin from Innumerable Forms and Derek from Tomb Mold. Derek also plays bass in Outer Heaven, so obviously I'm a fan of Derek's output. He plays guitars and bass here, and Justin um, plays drums and vocals here. So, Dream Unending, Tide Turns Eternal. This is getting is a lot of, this has a lot of, um, can't think of the word I'm trying to use. A lot of praise, I'll just say praise. Dream Unending is getting a lot of praise, uh, and it's psychedelic, proggy, death doom, but man, yeah, it's a slog to get through for me. Um, I've given it a couple of listens. It just came out today, but I listened to it yesterday one time and today another time. And yeah, weird. It's actually the hardest one to get through for me, even though I like it objectively or subjectively more than, the ones that I put before it. But yeah, um, yeah, underwhelmed, disappointing. Just not a lot of parts that I enjoy. Like nothing wrong with it on paper. I should enjoy this more than I do. Dream Unending, Tide Turns Eternal, disappointing for me. So I have it at number 6. Number 5, now this is getting the stuff that I really love. I've loved 5 releases from 20 Bucks Spin this year. Number 5 is Witch Vomit with their Abhorrent Rapture EP. Witch Vomit is a death metal band from Portland, Oregon. 2019, they put out this amazing full length called Buried Deep in a Bottomless Grave. And I actually didn't like this EP the first time I heard it. It didn't immediately grab me, and it still doesn't totally grab me. The mix and production is more raw than their last EP, which already had unintelligible vocals. Yeah, there's just, but the more I listen, the more I like. I would even pick it up on vinyl, most likely. But, um, yeah, it's not a fantastic EP in my opinion, but it's strong. It is good. I like it better than yeah any other 20 bucks spin so far that I've named. So number five, I have Witch Vomit and Abhorrent Rapture EP. Number four is the band Cerebral Rot and their album Excretion of Mortality. Cerebral Rot, old school death metal, immolation, incantation, influenced death metal from Seattle, Washington. Um, their debut full length is also awesome. And I actually kind of think they're neck and neck. I don't really have a favorite. I even think I like the drumming performance better on their debut. But Cerebral Rot, Excretion of Mortality, I think this album is killer. I would love to see this live. Just, yeah, nasty, filthy, panharmonic, drenched, old school death metal, a little doom, a lot of doom, but I still would just call them a death metal band. Number four, Cerebral Rot, Excretion of Mortality. Number three, and I fucking love this record so much, Gravesend, Methods of Human Disposal, New York based, blackened death grindcore band. I don't know what it is about this album, but I love it very much. I do know what it is, but so yeah, just gruff vocals, amazing, fast paced. Yeah, some even call it black metal itself, but I would call it blackened death metal. Hard to categorize Gravesend. I would say for fans of Napalm Death, but I think the guitar tone is closer to death metal than most of the Napalm Death output. But Gravesend, Methods of Human Disposal, also one of my favorite album covers, not just of this year, but of all time. Gravesend, awesome. My number three favorite release from 20 Bucks Spin in 2021. Number two, and I think this is a perfect album. It is Worm with Everglade. Worm is a death doom band out of Florida. And yeah, this is flawless. This is a truly flawless album. This is some of the best death doom I've ever heard. Again, I'm not an authority on all things Death Doom. Go to Liam's Death Doom Metalhead channel for that here on YouTube. But I love the mix of highs and lows in the vocals. And I'm not a big fan of synth. And guess what? This album has synth, and it works extremely well. But it's Death Doom that has blackened parts, and boy, when they really go full bore death metal, it works so well. And it has leads and solos on this that are unlike most Death Doom projects. These are shreddy leads, shreddy solos. Worm Everglade just took me by surprise. I don't even love their last album as much as some people here on metal YouTube. Everglade, this is a truly flawless album. I'm sorry, Foreverglades. Truly flawless album from Worm. I would hold up the vinyl if it was out yet. It's delayed until the end of February, I believe. You will see me holding that up in a collection update. Number two, Worm with Foreverglade. So, our number one favorite 20 bucks spin, I said 20. My favorite 2021 20 bucks spin release is Ænigmatum with Deconsecration. To me, Another flawless album. My favorite technical death metal album I've ever heard. I do not like quote unquote tech death very much, so I'm picky about tech death. I would call this a melodic technical death metal album. So I'm very particular when it comes to this kind of death metal. This has catchy melodies, grooves for days, and a rhythm section that is unrelenting yet interesting. It's not just blast. It's an interesting drummer here. Um, Hard to compare. You might, if you like, if you like store trends and permanence from this year, you might like Ænigmatum. But man, every part of this album I really, really like. This is my favorite 20 buck spin release from 2021, and yeah, one of my favorite technical death metal albums I've ever heard. Period. And yeah, that has been my 2021 20 buck spin releases ranked. I really hope a number of you comment, what did I get wrong? Who do you like from 20 buck spin this year that I did not like very much? Tell me some other labels to check out. And yeah, how would you rank these 10 albums if you've listened to them all? And if you haven't, you should probably listen to them all and then rank them. That'd be fun to watch. So yeah, talk to you all very soon. This has been Patrick with Heavy Therapy. See ya.